Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, and today is Saturday, June the 16th. We're just going to continue with some little stories today. I think I'll stay out of the kitchen for a while after my Sopopilia debacle. What happened, I couldn't find my recipe in my old recipe box. I've had this Sopopilia recipe for at least 35 or 40 years. And before Jill got married, she was copying my recipes. And she ran out of time, so instead of copying the rest of them, she just took some of my recipe cards. And I think she's got my Sopopilia recipe. I just hope and pray that she does, because, you know, my recipe is a real good one. The one that I used on Thursday was, it was just some random recipe that I got off the internet. And it's crap. Do not use it. I'm sorry about the glare on my glasses. I don't know how to fix it. I have to wear them. Anyway, we're going to pick up with some more stories of when John and I lived in New Orleans. Okay, so we had moved from New Orleans East to the Gentilly section, and I was telling y'all about that apartment there with the wooden slats for our ceiling and the dirt coming through and everything. So that was move number 12. So as I said, I was working at Equitable Shipyards for the executive vice president, and Equitable Shipyards also had a shipyard on the Tchefuncte River in Madisonville, Louisiana, which is north of New Orleans, and it's across the causeway. Now, the causeway is the longest bridge in the world. I'll see if I can pull out some pictures of it, and if not, just look it up on Wikipedia and you can learn about it. So my boss, he was going to go over there and work at that shipyard. They had gotten a big contract to build some barges and tugboats there. So, of course, he wanted his secretary to go with him, and I wanted to go. I was ready to move to a smaller town, and you know, Jason was going on 3 years old then, and you know, he would be going to school soon. So we knew that Covington was a real nice town. It was small and quaint. So we went across the causeway, across Lake Pontchartrain one day, and we started looking for a place to live. And we really wanted to buy a house. You know, we had been renting apartments ever since we got married, and we were just tired of it. So we found a house that had just been built. I mean, they were just, you know, finishing up with cleaning up all the construction and everything around it. And it was on a road called Slimmer Road. And it was kind of back in the country. And there were just a few houses on that road, and we thought, oh, this will be perfect, you know. So we went ahead and, you know, went to the bank, and we got the loan and everything for the mortgage. And the house was, I think it was a little over $32,000. And that was reasonable, you know, for 1975. And the house was beautiful. I have a picture of it here. It was a ranch-style brick, 3-bedroom, 2 baths, and just a little house. And that's Jason sitting out on the fence. So it had a garage here, 1-car garage, and John built that little fence there. So we moved into that house, and we were happy there and everything. Of course, John had to look for a job. The W.T. Grant's in New Orleans had closed, and he had just gotten you know, a temporary job at a fence company there in New Orleans, and it really was not up his alley. He was more into sales, and so when we got to Covington, he went to apply for a job at a scrapyard. It's called P&W Industries. So he got hired, and he did real well there. He was selling scrap metal, and he was working for salary plus commission. So I went ahead and, started my job working for the executive vice president there at the shipyard in Madisonville. And we were happy, we made friends, and we were going to crawfish boils and all kinds of cookouts and everything, and we really loved living there. Well, it wasn't too long after we had moved there that John started telling me about the neighbor that lived in the woods behind us. There was a little lane there called Melody Lane, and there was some trailers back there. Well, the man who owned the lane, John knew him from high school. John had, his father had been a pastor at a church there in Covington when John was in high school. And that's where John graduated from school, was Covington High. So this man that lived back there, John tells me that when the kid was a teenager, he came home from school and went inside his house, and his mother and daddy had been chopped to death with an axe. Oh, God. And John said they never did find who did it, and that they thought that the son had done it. And I said, you mean you're just now telling me this after we just signed the deed on this house? Why didn't he tell me that before we bought the house? I don't think I would have bought it. So that really frightened me. And of course, the murders were never solved. Who killed that boy's mother and daddy, who chopped him up with an axe. So I was always uneasy living there. And then not long after, we had all settled in and everything, they started selling the land next to us, on each side of us. They sold the land, and these contractors came in and built duplex apartments, and they were 2-story apartments. So here we are in that little tiny ranch house with these 2-story apartments on each side of us. And then we started just having all kinds of neighbors moving in and coming over and wanting to borrow stuff from us all the time. And I mean, they had the audacity to ask to borrow our lawnmower, our shovel, our rake. So anyway, I just have a lot of stories to tell y'all about the house there on Slimmer Road. Jason did have his, let's see, it was his 4th birthday there, I believe. And he wanted a little cowboy outfit. So he got a little holster set there. That's John and Jason. His little toy guns in his holster. And he got a little pair of cowboy boots. Oh, he was so happy. And he got a cowboy hat too. I mean, he was just all decked out. Hee-haw, Jason, huh? So anyway, I'll just pick up with the next story on Sunday, and we'll see what kind of trouble we can get into. And y'all just keep on coming back. Bye, guys.